one.
Welcome to the first official upload of the Friday Night Deck Reviews official upload final cut. I thought, hey, if you're going to be supporting the channel, submitting your decks, live streams are a little bit flying by the seat of your pants style, so I can't really get as great of suggestions for these decks. I thought, hey, why not every Tuesday after we go live on Friday Night Deck Review Fridays, make a little video for you guys so I can give you guys some better suggestions for these decks, give you guys a better rundown on what the decks are, and most importantly, better highlight the community's decks, while also getting a little bit of content in there. So, this week we got a Marneus Calgar life gain deck, and yes, it's Marneus Calgar, so it's just as overpowered as ever, but now you get to do life gain shenanigans. Yay. And we've also got a Derevi list that didn't take the infinite combos, CEDH, shove my bird down your throat route, and instead chose to go snowbirds route. Snowbirds. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's hop into the deck. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to submit some of your own decks for Friday Night Deck Reviews and Tuesday deck highlight final cut rundowns, still working on the name, consider becoming a YouTube member or Patreon member. Starts as low as $1. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting things off with the Marneus Calgar life gain list submitted by Wheelmaster. Marneus Calgar is 2, a white, a blue, and a black for a 3/5 double strike. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, you draw a card, and you can pay 6 mana to create 2/2 white Astari's Warriors with Vigilance. Is that a lot of stuff for one card to do? Yeah, is that an incredibly potent card draw engine and token engine built into a 3/5 double strike? Do I need to read the card again? Could you stifle yourself? Now, your run-of-the-mill Marneus Calgar deck, it's gonna be tokens. You're making a bunch of tokens, you're flooding the board, you're drawing cards. Yay, value engines, yay. You know what makes a bunch of tokens, just like passively? Life gain, the life gain theme. Who would have thunk it? First, we gotta gain life. Some of my favorites in this list. I really like Authority of the Consults and Ashes of the Abhorrent because they're both like pseudo-stacks pieces. They're not annoying enough to be like, oh, you're awful for running those. They just provide a ton of life gain. Like, whenever a creature dies, gaining a life with Ashes of the Abhorrent, disgusting. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls enters, we gain a life. Yeah, if creatures are doing anything ever, we gain a life. It's got all these little life gain pieces where you can just incrementally gain tons of life over game actions happening. It's also got real haymakers in terms of life gain. Bloodthirsty Conqueror, a 5 mana 5/5 flying death touch. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Yeah, it's gonna win you the game. If it doesn't, you're going to be so outside of the scope of being dealt with life total wise that you're looking good. Or you could just do the same thing on an enchantment with Exquisite Blood. The deck's got it covered, all right? And of course, we need to make sure the opponent's losing life when we gain life, so we've got Enduring Tenacity in here, Sanguine Bond in here, Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Yeah, they're going to be losing life when we gain life pretty steadily. But I said we were making tokens, and we're definitely making tokens. Angelic Accord makes you 4/4 angels whenever you gain 4 or more life at the end of a turn. Crested Sunmare makes 5/5 horses. Griffinary makes 2/2 griffins. Gwaihir makes 2/2 white birds. The Book of Exalted Deeds makes 3/3 angels. Valkyrie Harbinger makes 4/4 angels. We're making tons of tokens off of gaining life in this deck. And then would you look at that, Marneus Calgar is going to be drawing us cards when we make those tokens, and also making us more tokens. Hey, if we're running all these tokens, we might as well throw an Archangel Athun in there, right? Put a 1/1 counter on all of our stuff whenever we gain life. That seems really incredible in this deck. Jeez. He's also got the brand new Spider-Man P.D. Parker. Am I the biggest fan? No, but is it incredible in this deck? Yeah, give it a 1/1 counter and indestructible until end of turn to a creature whenever you gain life. Again, with all the incremental life gain in this deck, that's going to be insane. And hey, you want to do all the stuff we were just talking about cranked to 20 out of 10? Why don't you run Alhammaret's Archive, huh? Just double all your draw and all your life gain and all your just whatever, dude. Just whatever you want with this one. And hey, if you're looking to bring home the game straight up, Angel of Destiny. How about that? If you have 15 or more life than your starting life total, each player that it attacked this turn loses the game. Yeah, that's a good way to win the game. Wheelmaster actually brings up that Axis Immortality is one of his favorite cards in this deck, and I wonder why. A thing where you get to exchange life totals with any 2 players at the table at the beginning of your upkeep. That seems not incredible in a life gain deck at all. Talk about sitting on your high horse, dude. You're sitting there at like 70, 80, 90 life, and you're like, you 23 lifer. You become a 5 lifer. 5 lifer. Don't waste this opportunity. Like, you're playing God with this one, dude. And then Space-Time Anomaly. Yikes. Target player mills cards equal to your life total. Ew. Yeah, ew is the word I was looking for. Yep. That was it. If you want to take a look at this full list, we've got a link to it down below. But I've got some suggestions here. Now that I've gotten some time to think and not be a total idiot on live stream, here's some bangers for you, Wheelmaster, all right? free of charge. Okay, so some cards we brought up on stream. I think Amalia Benevides Aguirre is actually really good. Whenever you gain life, she explores. Whenever her power hits 20, she wipes all other creatures off the board, so you get a free 20 that can just bash somebody in the face when she pops off. I think this is just fun. I think it's also a really cool win con to potentially get a guaranteed 20 damage at somebody. This is a good time to bring up that the deck does have a Pillow Fort kit. It runs Ghostly Prison, it runs Koskun Falls. It doesn't want to be swung at, so I think something like Ink Shield would be really good in this deck, providing a ton of tokens, preventing damage. It's kind of doing everything the deck wants to do. The chat on stream brought up that some cards with Extort, like Pontiff of Blight or Blind Obedience, would both be great. Pontiff of Blight giving Extort to everything, Blind Obedience making stuff enter tapped and having Extort. Someone recommended Song of the World Soul, but I think it's a little too expensive. A 6-drop enchantment whenever you cast a spell, populate. It is good. You're getting tokens every time you cast a spell, but it's like, you'll have to... This is one you could try out because you do have a lot of big tokens. You have a lot of 3/3 angels, 4/4 angels, griffins, stuff like that. So maybe this would end up working. It's one you've got to definitely test. But we heard all those suggestions on stream. Here's the real spice out of the noodle itself, all right? My first suggestion would be Midnight Snack. I actually think this card's really good. I put this in my Sorin Nick Lotus precon that I made on the channel. 2 and a black, an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked this turn, create a food. And your deck seems very aggressive with the tokens you're going to be attacking, so consistent food tokens that gain you life when you crack them, it's going to be good. You can also pay 2 and a black, sacrifice this enchantment. Target opponent loses X life, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. So you get a one-time use Sanguine Bond type effect on top of a food token engine in a token deck. I mean, this seems pretty good, but I'm leading with the worst one, all right? These next two I think are absolute bangers in this list. May I suggest to you Field-Tested Frying Pan? 2 and a white for an equipment. When Field-Tested Frying Pan enters the battlefield, create a food token, then create a 1/1 white halfling creature token and attach Field-Tested Frying Pan to it. It's a lot of value. Equipped creature has, whenever you gain life, this creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained. Yeah, throw this on one of your life linkers, like a Sarah's Attendant. Throw it on a Valkyrie Harbinger. Even though you don't have a ton of life link in here, I don't know, maybe throw it on your commander with double strike. Go around PUBGing people at the table, my guy. And then finally, my last suggestion for this deck. I think Wedding Ring is incredible in this list. 2 and 2 white artifact. When Wedding Ring enters the battlefield, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of Wedding Ring. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card, and whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life, you gain that much life. This is just, hey, you look at someone at the table and grab them by the shoulder, and you're like, it's me and you in this. It's me and you in this versus everyone. Every time you gain life, they'll go up in life, which is a little risky, but every time they draw a card, you'll draw a card. I think this is sick. You throw it on the person that draws a ton of cards, let them draw a ton of cards, remove your own Wedding Ring with like your generous gift or something whenever you're done, which is really on brand. Come on. I think it's really good. This seems like a great casual commander piece in this deck to like stop someone who's taking over the table. You can just put this, you and someone else get a Wedding Ring, and you're like, hey, me and you are going to go nitro speed to try to stop this guy, okay? Anyways, thanks for submitting the deck, Wheelmaster. Let's move on to the next deck. Let's move into the Derevi Snowbirds deck. This Derevi list that was submitted last Friday was actually the way I found out Derevi wasn't banned. I thought it was banned everywhere. It's just banned in 1v1s, I guess. So I'm making a Derevi deck right now. You will hear about it. It's a green, a white, and a blue for a 2/3 flying. When Derevi enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent. Pay 1, a green, a white, and a blue. Put Derevi onto the battlefield from your command zone. Yeah, it cost 4 the whole game. So that's already busted. And then, yeah, that triggers for each creature that does damage. So pseudo-vigilance for all your creatures at its worst. Tap down a bunch of stuff that your opponents can't use at some of its best. Go infinite at its absolute best. But our boy Rizzo, dude, he said, nah. He went with Owl Tribal, not Bird Tribal. He cares about the owls, which I respect. And then Snow Tribal as well. And to be fair, he does have the owls in here. Blizzard Strix, that's owling it up. We got Aven Mind Sensor, Aven Mimeomancer. Even the Instants and Sorceries got it on it with stuff like Keep Safe, Refute, Strix Serenade. Making sure to hold on to the bird theme any way you can with cards like Dovescape, Murmurations. Owls? I don't think they do that, but owls, that's a bird thing, and owls are birds. Fable of the Wolf and Owl? Fable of the Wolf and Owl. We got the birds. All right, go birds. We've got the stuff that cares about birds. We've got Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. Yeah, you're getting to scry 2 when you attack with birds. You get to make birds whenever you cast non-creature spells. Sure, go birds. Crook Claw Elder lets you tap 2 birds to draw a card. Sure. And Watcher of the Spheres makes all your birds cost less. We've got the owls coming out and they're coming in strong, you won't know who's who. They'll be coming at you so quick. But that's not the only theme here. The other theme is snow. So cards like Rime Feather Owl. Oh, that's hitting both bases. A snow creature bird owl. Oh, yeah. Got cards like Avalanche Caller that can animate snowlands. Graven Lore that lets you scry equal to the amount of snowlands you use to cast it and then draw 3 cards. Sunstone is incredible in here, letting you sacrifice snow-covered lands to prevent all combat damage that turn. And then when you also run Undergrowth Recon in the deck, which Rizzo does, you can keep looping that in and out of graves, so pretty much no one's dealing combat damage to you when you have these 2 things out. Very cool. Mirror Lodge's Slumber. Didn't know this card existed until we were on stream. I don't know how. Dark Depths is like one of my favorite cards, like a super iconic card. Didn't know there was another way to make Mirror Lodge. That's pretty sick. And of course, we got the Snowlands, Snow Plains, Snow Islands, Snow Forests, the dual lands, all that good stuff. So when we were on the stream, I recommended some bird tribal synergy, like a little bit more oomph, you know, fluff the feathers a little bit. I thought Radagast was really good, giving your beast and birds ward 1, and then whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, you get to make 3/3 beast or 2/2 birds. Seeing that a lot of these owls are very high CMC, you could get this to trigger all the time in this deck. Or Tawnos, who puts a token copy of birds you play into play. That seems really, really good to me. That's a Falcon that he's working on, but maybe that's because he loves owls so much. Maybe it's a vulture or something, I don't know. But he loves owls so much. That's why there's a non-owl skull. Some tribal deck classics like Banner of Kinship and Coat of Arms were some more suggestions that the chat had for the deck. And we ended the stream with a nice little suggestion of Raise the Palisade, which has an ice theme, and you pick a creature type and bounce all creatures that aren't that type. Birds! I got a couple more suggestions for you, my guy. First one's a little weird, I'll be honest. Omo, Queen of Vesuva is interesting, being 2 and a hybrid Simic for a 1/5. Whenever she enters the battlefield or attacks, put an everything counter on a land and an everything counter on a creature you control. The lands are every basic land type. No, that does not make it snow. That's a little weird. The everything counter on creatures can turn creatures into birds. I think that's kind of cool. Again, weakest one first. There you go. Broken Wings is just a removal spell. Artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, instant speed, 2 and a green. It's got an owl on it. I just noticed it wasn't in the deck. And then finally, Spawn Broker's kind of interesting. 2 and a blue for a 1/1. When it comes into play, you may exchange control of target creature you control and target creature with power less than or equal to that creature's power and opponent controls. You have a bunch of big birds in here, so you might be able to swap out one of your owls for something really strong on someone else's board for 3 mana. That's pretty good. Also, there's an empty bird cage in the art. You could do some mental gymnastics here to be like, that's where the owl was. There's an escapee of the owlery. Now, you can recommend cards like the new Chocobo and stuff from the new set, but as Rizzo says, he's going owls, dude. He's not doing the other birds, so respectable. Someone in chat brought up that there's this amazing art for 3 Tree City, which also perfect in this deck, caring about creature types. Also, the art, wow, that winter art is insane. Up that vein, might I suggest this really cool blue bird token? A really cool looking owl, or this clue token that's a bloody feather. Or this clue token, it's a bloody feather. Thank you guys for submitting the deck list. If you guys want to submit your own deck list, again, become a Patreon member or a YouTube member for as low as $1, where you can gain access to the deck submission form and fill it out. Submit your deck, baby, so you can become a part of one of these. We're going to be doing 2 decks every Friday night for deck review, and then those 2 decks are going to be made into a video like this. So even more incentive and more of a give back to the community. So appreciate you guys a ton. Huge shout out to all the people you can see on screen. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year. I don't know if that's doable. I don't know if you guys could even do that, but hey, we'll see. I'm going to get back to editing. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.